Hello everybody and welcome back to the Abandoned Farm Challenge, or the multiplayer challenge with a twist. Episode number 5 it is now, on the Mythical Woods. What a map, I must admit, I'm loving it so far. It suits this kind of abandoned style series perfectly. And yeah, time has not moved on very much actually from the last episode. So Mr. Snowy, Mr. Farm Sim Snowy, is back from his surprise visit to the Philippines. But he's come back with a little bit of man flu, or just a cold, he says, just a cold. So yeah, I don't know even at this point whether or not Snowy has been on and managed to catch up, do his episode 4 recording, let alone episode 5. So what I will not do is skip forward another month just yet, because it's not fair. I want to kind of keep a little bit of fairness where I can, really. So yeah, we're still in the same month, but there are one or two little things that have changed. So the map's had an update. Apparently the kind of mine over there, which we can see in our distance, is all entirely working now. They fixed that weird collision issue, but again, it's irrelevant because I'm certainly not, and I don't believe Snowy wants to actually even get into mining anyway. We're on here to do a bit of farming, really. But wow, look at these guys. They wouldn't have produced anything because, I mean, it's 12:41 game time, pretty much the same time as when I finished the last episode. So nothing's changed in this sense. There are a couple of things though that have changed, or that could change potentially, but you know, as always, I'm after your opinions. So one thing I'm just considering is whether or not, you know, don't forget FS25 is imminent, isn't it? It's not that far away. Do we give ourselves a very small loan limit, just to ensure the series speeds up and it comes to, again, some sort of conclusion rather than just ending it for the sake of ending it. So by that I'm thinking maybe we say we're allowed to have £50,000 worth of loan as and when we can start buying and upgrading equipment. Just to give us a bit of a boost, maybe buy some extra land, maybe just slightly bigger equipment, new tractor even. Don't know, I think 50 grand won't break the series. I think it's nowhere near enough money to be doing anything major. I mean, you upgrade too much equipment, the tractor won't even run it anyway. So, you know, you almost need to spend money on getting a tractor before you upgrade too much equipment. So yeah, I don't know, that's just a thought. I've mentioned it to Snowy, he's kind of thinking, yeah, that sounds pretty good, but we both said we'll mention it in our next videos and get some of your opinions, because they do count, of course. The second thing we've discussed is the rule of when we can buy equipment. Initially, I was kind of toying with the idea of saying let's do a game year. Now, that would be August of the following year. Given that this is now episode 5 and it's still in October, yeah, that potentially, at the rate we're going at, that's going to be another 20 episodes away before we can even buy equipment. So that isn't going to work. That definitely isn't going to work. I'm going insane with some of this small equipment, to be honest with you. I can't cope with it. So yeah, we're going to do after. So we'll complete, this is episode 5 now. The next episode, episode 6, once that episode's finished, as soon as we start episode 7, we can start buying equipment. And again, if we decide on the kind of loan feature as well, then all of a sudden things might start getting quite a lot better. Quite a lot better. Now, just finally as well, one final thing. I've already done it. I don't need your opinion on this one because we've made our decision already. But I'll jump into the map menu. Obviously, it doesn't matter now that icons are on because we both know exactly where all of our equipment is. But Snowy doesn't know what this piece of equipment is. He knows we're going to do it. I said to Snowy, right, if we're at a point where we could decide on one piece of equipment which is better than what we already have, still runnable but better, we both pretty much straight away said need a bigger plow. Now, to look at it, kind of almost isn't a plow, is it really? It's like a chisel plow really, but it does allow you to create fields. It does work with the Deutz because I did of course test it. It would be silly of me if I didn't. And yeah, it's 3 meters wide compared to 1.7 meters, maybe? Yeah. What's taken me an hour to do is going to be a lot better now. And hopefully that will make for better viewing. So, yeah, this hasn't cost me or Snowy any money. They are both identical. I couldn't even change the colour on them anyway. But you'll notice at the bottom, Snowy's farm, Rusey's farm. So, yeah, that's the only other thing that's changed, really. But that worked quite well anyway, with the fact that I can't skip forward a month in this episode. Because, again, I'm not doing it because I want to give Snowy an equal opportunity. But at the same time, it doesn't matter what month we're in when we're ploughing a field. And we've done the hard work already. That hay baling, honestly, the hay baling took so long to do. It was, yeah, it was mind-blowing, I think. Almost fatigued me for a week just doing that. So, yeah, I'm pleased to say, although we haven't skipped forward, we've not made any... Oh, try not to run over that shit. God, that was close, and I scratched the wool off of his chin then. Yeah, although we haven't really seen how much wool we're going to produce because we haven't skipped forward, what we can do is get this section here, which is going to look amazing as a ploughed field with crops growing in it. And I'll probably go with the same again. I know a few people have agreed. Dust Bunny, you've also agreed. Soybean is just it's a good one to go for, isn't it? For a couple of reasons, but here and now for me, main reason is it produces less quantity worth more money, which equals much less commuting. It's kind of a no-brainer, really. It doesn't produce the straw, of course, but the downside to producing straw is you then got to pick it all up to sell it all anyway. So let's save myself a bit of time, and yeah, we'll go back with soybean again. There is a mod available which allows you to get straw out of pretty much all the crops, but of course that is not crossplay, and I can't run crossplay mods or non-crossplay mods if we are playing a server together. So I'm entirely restricted to any mod that is crossplay. So essentially just wipes out all the scripted type mods. And I wouldn't do even if I had the option, because then it wouldn't be fair, would it? Because you get so many advantages with PZ mods. That just would not be fair at all. Now, first things first then, really, because animals are all good. The chickens have still got that little bit of food I remember fresh from the last episode. And we know the sheep are pretty good. So there's nothing to do except go get some fuel. I think this has got enough fuel to make it to the shop. Probably spend the majority of the money that we've got left. Oh, only took out the seed pallet. Yeah, spend a nice chunk of the money we've got left. That's £798. And then we'll bring the plough back. And again, it doesn't do the plough perfectly. There is a little bit of a struggle with it, as you would expect. It's a wide plough, but we don't want it to be too easy, do we? Definitely not. I must admit though, I am looking forward to the beginning of the 7th episode, when we can finally start looking at the used shop, seeing what is available, and expanding majorly. Yeah. But again, really, it's silly to upgrade any equipment when you've got this running it, because it just won't do it. We've got some really awesome direct drill seeders on the map, or in the game I should say, which we could buy, but this won't pull it. It's got no chance. So yeah, even that 50 grand alone, if that's what we decide to do, we're not 100% yet, but even having that as an option, as available if you need it, that's not really going to help that much, to be honest with you. You might barely buy a tractor with that. Anyway, right, let's keep on going. It doesn't actually take too long to do, you know, in this. When you're not towing something, it's relatively quick. It's quite speedy. Amazing. So in the meantime, same again, if you watch Keep It Real, you would have seen I've mentioned it anyway. But thank you so much to members, anyone who's got membership. So first time I ever did it and mentioned it was on this series. I did it as a tick box. I genuinely did, just to kind of reduce the amount of notifications you get whenever you load up your YouTube Analytics Studio. it was always come up in the section when you look at kind of the money things. It always flagged up first thing, set up membership. So that's why I did it. But I do appreciate it. So Justin, Bendercat, Jerry Bates, Official Blood Fury, and of course Leroy. Sorry, one of my kids come in then. And of course Leroy, so thank you very, very much. And an extra thank you to Bendercat and Leroy, I guess, for kind of testing out the super chat option for me. They're testing out how the Ko-Fi, testing that out to make sure that works as well. So I really do appreciate it. I really do. Now, let's go. I'm assuming just pulling up here somewhere would fill this. Yep. Wow. Do you know what? My only kind of gameplay like this, because I haven't done a great deal of Alma recently, but keep it real, I've got extra mods installed where it kind of refills the fuel tank super slow, and it is really, really slow. And that then, you know, I pressed the button and it was nearly full already. Crazy. I forget what it's like to play the game as the game. I always try and go over the top, maybe, by trying to make the game hard. Okay, so any minute now the Nearly Home Chode should be appearing. I can see the house. There it is. There it is. The Nearly Home Chode. Cool. So I hope you've enjoyed the return of roleplay story mode. If you're newer to the channel through me doing this series, then definitely check it out. It's different. I mean, it's not completely different because a lot of people do roleplay, but it's different to this kind of series. I really enjoy doing it, but I appreciate you checking it out because it takes 3 times, 4 times the amount of effort, time, and editing compared to doing a series like this. And yeah, when you're spending that much time doing stuff like that, you kind of appreciate people watching it more. But I must say, I had a 6 or 7 week gap. Obviously, summer holidays, you know what it's like with the children. But I'm pleased to say the first episode back got loads of views. Got loads and loads of views. I think people were anticipating it, so I do appreciate it if you watched it. I think, to be honest, it's probably pushing the 1,000 views. And you should have yesterday seen the second returned episode as well. So as always, I like to finish the episode on a little bit of a cliffhanger. No, just one I'm talking. Let's lower this. Okay, cool. I'll just explain what I'm going to do here very, very quickly, just before I go off on a tangent, like I always do. So I've created this field essentially already, haven't I? If you look at this section here, I mean, you could say I mentioned it briefly. If I load up to this screen, you need the grass for the sheep. So why not keep the grass? Well, actually, see this? This kind of looking so spotty and odd is essentially areas where the grass will not grow back. So if I turn the grass on, see how these kind of bits here do not change. So yeah, so all of these normal ground coloured sections will not grow grass like this. So I'll only get grass growing back in these sections. And actually, that's like, I don't know, 40% of the field won't actually grow grass. Completely pointless. If not anything else, I'm better off just planting grass again. But yeah, what I'm thinking I'll probably do is get some good crops in, and then this field over here to our right hand side can potentially be a grass field. If we're in a place where we need a lot more grass than what I'm thinking, we'll just plant that the next season. Yeah, all good. So actually, look at how wide this is. Wow, this will take me 3 goes with that plough, which is still over there, by the way. So when we get to the 7th episode, we'll take that down to the shop and sell it. We might as well get a bit of money. It's probably only worth 50 quid, but still, every little ounce. This is amazing. This is amazing. And actually, I didn't test the Deutz on a bit of a hill, but it's kind of doing better than I thought. As I say that, it stops. I shouldn't have said that out loud, should I? Yeah. But actually, it's doing okay. This might be a job where we'll stick to downhill only. Yeah. maybe. I would like to just go around one time though, just so I can fully see how big. I mean, you can already see this field is going to be a big field. This is going to be a big one. Definitely the biggest on the map. The only field that could be bigger is if Snowy decides now that he's got his new plow, which in theory he's got one episode earlier than me as well, because he's not had a chance to record it, but that is what it is. I'm not worried about that. But in theory, he might go, oh, I've got a big plow now, let's do a field. He could come out of his episode 4 with an even bigger field than me, maybe. You never know. You never know. And you may have even already seen it. I don't know when he's going to be able to release that. Again, it depends on how he's feeling with his man flu. But anyway, let's keep going. I will pop a little bit of this into a time lapse. Definitely. And I think it's that time of the year, isn't it? Because you might be able to hear it in my voice. But I feel like I've got something coming as well. I don't know what. But I feel like there's something there niggling away. It's always the way. I've got a week off work coming up where I aim to do quite a lot of episodes, especially the Keep It Real, and try and get a couple of story mode episodes kind of ready to go. And every time I take time off of work, I get ill. It just, every single time. Always the way. Always the way. Okay, well, we've made our first lap around the field though, and as it stands, I haven't yet needed to do it into a time lapse. So that's good. Right, so we'll stop here. Turn off the engine a moment. That is going to be a big field. That is actually quite a big field there, you know. It's bigger than what it looks, isn't it? But this is going to be big. I just want to, just quickly, before I jump into the time lapse, just understand if it's given me any level of... Okay, yeah, it's kind of, it's giving me a little bit. So it only gives you the fertilizer level, potentially, where the grass hasn't been cut, which kind of makes sense, I guess. Kind of does make sense. So that's fine. The rest of it won't actually have any fertilizer at all. Turn the knees rolling off because I'm not rolling this with 1 meter cultivator or a roller. Yeah, this is a nice dark blue colour. We need to get this planted, and again a nice dark blue colour. Amazing. Right, let's get on with it. Can't keep talking. I'll jump you into a time lapse. I'll find something cheesy to put on. I'm sure I put some sort of cheesy background music. And I'll see you in nowhere near as long as you had to wait for that field. See you in a bit. we go. Nearly done. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Is that going to work now? There we go. Right, try again. That was weird. This is a separate session finishing off the last part of this field, so I hope that time lapse wasn't too bad. Again, I have done a little bit of editing. I could tell my voice was sounding a bit rough. Hopefully, all of a sudden, it sounded a bit better. I am feeling a bit better. Come on, tractor. You can do it. Yeah, I'm pleased to say that it must have just been a thing at the time, a thing that day, because I feel pretty good again now. And, yeah. That would teach me it's karma, isn't it, for taking the mick out of Snowy ever manfully. That's what that was. Anyway, wow. What a field. Let's jump, let's climb on top of our plough. Ooh, it's a bit wobbly. Health and safety. Look at the size of that field. Look at it. Also, look at the slope. Man, I did not realise it was at that much of an angle. It's funny how you don't see it until you do that, isn't it? But we got ourselves a couple of pretty good fields here, you know. Pretty good. The downside is I haven't really got much more I can do with my land. I've kind of... I feel like I've kind of maximised it, to be honest. But there you go. We can expand. We can buy more. We can buy bigger bits of land. The ploughing actually didn't take too long. Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that. So, I love this plough. Amazing. Piece of John Deere equipment on the farm already. Great. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump out of this view and I'm going to turn off field ploughing because I don't want to do what I did before. And actually, I'm going to start utilising this field. Now, I think in the last episode as well, did I remove a piece of rubbish? I don't think I did. So again, I've missed the opportunity now, and that was my bad. But this one, I'm going to remove this. So let's jump in. Construction, and we'll twist it around. We'll sell that £8 bonus, an extra bonus £8. Sell. Cool. There we go. Come back out of that again. Yeah, so I didn't need to because I could get into the other side of the shed, but actually having this. Oh, hello. Didn't expect to see you guys here. It's funny how we knew exactly where the door was. It's going to walk back through there now, isn't he? Yeah, I think just having it as a drive-through is going to be pretty good. And I need to start storing equipment. It's an odd shed, isn't it? Because it's quite big, but actually you can't really store anything in drive-through. It's kind of pointless. But there you go. Pop this into there. Hopefully I've turned off that field ploughing so it isn't going to plough the ground, which you didn't. Good. Got a bit quiet then, secretly hoping. Right, let's make our way around. Dodge the sheep. It's like a little mini game on Farming Simulator. Dodge the sheep. There we go. So the next thing to do is obviously connect the seeder, and I mean let's just try and get it seeded, shall we? It makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's a little bit of an advantage almost, really. The fact that we haven't skipped forward a month. That works in our benefit because it means it's planted a month earlier. Okay, so I've just loaded into here. I just want to see what it might need. So we knew about the fertilizer pretty much. In theory, we're not going to have any weeds in either of these two crops, are we? Because it's freshly ploughed ground, which is amazing. Neither of them need ploughing because we physically made them with a plough. It's the lime thing. There you go. They both need lime. Yeah. Now that we can do two jobs in one, maybe it's worth considering lime. Maybe that's a good idea. Now they'll probably both say they need rolling. No, that one does. This one will do when I planted something in it. I am not doing that with a 1 meter. Stones. We have got some stones, but they're only small stones. Again, if we rolled it, they would disappear, wouldn't they? But I just can't bring myself to do it. But they do need lime. Okay, it's something to consider. The thing with lime is, of course, it's going to use loads of it. And we've got £728 now. because we just sold that bit of rubbish for £8. So yeah, I don't even know, is that enough to buy one bag? I can't remember. I think, yeah, I could probably get 2 or 3 bags, couldn't I, maybe, with that? But yeah, maybe that's not something to worry about this particular time around. I think it's my last opportunity to line this field over here, isn't it? Because the growth stage would probably go too far. If it hasn't already, I don't know. Right, come on. Getting stuck to the wall now. Right, so same again with this, I guess. It's gonna struggle to seed uphill, just like it struggled to pull the plough uphill, which you probably noticed in the time lapse potentially. And I do, if you've noticed, I'm sure you have, I do try and randomise time lapses. Probably looks a bit odd to do it that way, but I just feel it looks a bit more interesting. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just going up and down, I kind of make it into satisfying patterns. Maybe. Or it might be the complete opposite. It might be completely unsatisfying and it's making people twitch. I don't know. Anyway, right. This will probably take me about the same amount of time as it took to plough. So it will probably take you about the same time to watch it in a time lapse. But it needs to be done. There's no way around it. So same again, I guess. I'll see if I can find another song. Maybe about a 3 minutes worth of time lapse going to come up now. Just while I do this field. But I'll do it as quickly as possible. If we're looking okay for time. I mean, what I could say right now is before or when I first started the time lapse, it was 12 something game time. If you look at it now in the top right hand corner, it's 14:13. That means one thing. That means that Rusey Snowy is back. He's recovered well enough. He's got his voice back well enough. And he must have recorded an episode. Maybe he recorded both episodes. Maybe he's done 4 and 5. Maybe we're back on track. But either way, what it does mean is I could really... Oh dear. See, never talk and drive at the same... You just lose concentration, or I do anyway. Try again. Yeah, what it does mean is actually what I could do is skip it forward to the following month now. Which is November. It is November, yeah, after October. I think it's November. But yeah, no, we could skip forward to November. That would be within the rules. This episode, in theory, should have been recorded in November. So maybe I do that. Maybe I time-lapse this, get the field seeded, a nice layer of soybean seed all over the field, and we can just finish the episode in the month we should be in the first place. Maybe we'll do that. Hey, we'll end the episode and we'll be able to see all of it germinated as well. That would look quite nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I might be able to get a nice looking thumbnail out of that as well, maybe. That would be cool. So let's do that. Wow, look at that. It did all but that last little section there in one load of seeds. That's pretty amazing, you know. This thing only holds 280 litres of seed. See how far that went? Amazing. So I'm just going to refill it. We might as well. The sooner we get this pallet out of the way, the better. Yeah, good. I'm really impressed, you know. So about 300 litres of seed does this entire field. Whether or not the seed rate is the same for each type of crop, I don't know. I know from a precision farming point of view it isn't, but again, I've almost forgot how to play the base game because I've just played it with that extra mod for so long now. But this is good. This is pretty good. Now, one thing I have been keeping an eye on, especially after my experiences in Keep It Real, is the damage level of this tractor. It is getting quite low. Obviously, I set them to be quite low in the first place. Again, that's one of those extra abandoned farm style challenges. I guess the equipment's old, but yeah, something to keep an eye on. Tractor obviously loses power, loses a little bit of efficiency, but the tractor isn't anything major. It's more keeping an eye on the harvester and the header, because that of course starts to lose you yield as that drops down, and we certainly don't want to be losing any yield. Not at this point. Definitely not. I'm quite excited, you know, though. This has been pretty good. And it's probably not too far into an episode now. I mean, it's kind of a guesstimation again, but what? 35 minutes, roughly, about now? You will know if you're watching it. But I think I've got time just before the end to nip down to the shop, get some bags of lime. I'll have to check if they do the handheld limes, actually. Because obviously we haven't got a pallet fork down at the shop currently. I could take this tractor and buy one pallet, I suppose. But yeah, we'll have a look. We're certainly going to need more than one pallet or one bag of lime, I would have thought. Yeah, it tends to go through lime quite a bit. But again, maybe it's different. It's been so long since I've just played this game as base game. Maybe it doesn't use up as much lime as I thought. Who knows? But yeah, I think, see, I'm talking, I'm missing bits. I hardly missed any bits whilst I was doing the time lapse. As soon as I start talking, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I think, anyway, the priority would be to lime that piece over there. Our first field, which is kind of already germinated. Because, yeah, I believe once we move on a month, which we'll do right at the end of this episode, so we're kind of in time with where we should be. Yeah, I just believe that the line won't even go down, you know. What's the capacity of the trailer? Hang on a minute, I've just had a bit of a brainwave here. This is 3,000 litres, isn't it? I want to say. We'll just fill the trailer up with lime. That makes sense, doesn't it? Let's have a look here. Where am I going? My controller's kind of zoomed me into the used shop, even though I can't buy anything. Wouldn't that be cool, though? Wouldn't that be cool? 10,416. It's a shame that, well, firstly, I don't have that much money, and we can't buy anything yet anyway. But that would be pretty cool. Right, I'm sure you can only get lime. Yeah. So 2,000 litres for 350 quid. So I could get 2 bags of lime. Yeah, because it doesn't look like you can buy them in single bags. No, I mean, I may well have just gone flying past them, but whatever. Okay, well, we're going to buy one of them, which will be at the shop. We'll head down to the shop now. I'm sure we can kind of magically unload that into the trailer just by putting it up next to it. 2,000 litres should get us relatively far. Maybe not amazing, but yeah, relatively far, I think. We'll soon find out, won't we? Just as we're making our way down to the shop, I've just noticed in the bottom corner, look, 7 hours on this tractor. 7 hours, just like that. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Wow. Yeah. 7 hours. Amazing. It's quite incredible how much time you can spend on Farming Simulator without realising you're doing it. Again, if my missus knew just how much time I spend on Farming Simulator, I think she'd go mad. Now, whatever's in front of us isn't all ours, so ours is what's in the bag. We can have a little sneak peek here at what Snowy's been up to. Let's have a look. What's Snowy been buying? Fertilizer. Yep. He's obviously been fertilising the field. Cool. Right, this is working how I was hoping it would work. And again, yeah, we'll fit the whole 2,000 in. Amazing. If I bought another bag now, we could only take half of it back with us. But also, it would leave us with £27. Yeah. And when you skip through a month, there is a small costing for something. Again, I keep missing it to see what it is, but money definitely leaves the account. And I think it's more than £27. I don't want to start the next episode in debt. That wouldn't be very good. That would not be very good. Although, potentially, it's probably worth having another little check-in on the contracts. Because Snowy's been on it for a little while. I've been on it just a little while this time round as well. So, in fact, let's check now. There it is. No, they're the same two contracts anyway. But once we skip forward into September, I imagine there'll be some more. Ideally, I'd like a little fertilising contract. That would be ideal. Okay, as always, the Knurley home chode should just about appear. The house is currently floating in mid-air. But any minute now, boom, there you go. We must be nearly back at the farm. This tractor is really struggling. Now that it needs a repair, now that I've kind of brought my attention to it, I realise now it would probably be much better, have a lot more power if we just repaired it. Maybe next time I'm at the shop I should just jump in the trigger and at least work out how much it will be. I think that's something we need to plan in, really. Absolutely. Right. Where did I... Oh, there it is. Good. I was going to say, where did I leave the fertiliser spreader? Or the spreader, I should say. That field is fully fertilised. Let's just have a look and see how much fertiliser is left in here. Probably not much at all. 75 litres. And I have got a bag, haven't I? Not a full bag, I want to say, from memory. Not quite a full bag, but near enough. I'm just going to chuck that in, and let's just throw this fertiliser down on the ground on the newest addition to our fields. And then at least, well, hopefully it will help me work out in the next episode how much more I need to buy. Right, what's that? 142 litres. How far do we think 142 litres is going to go? Let's find out. I reckon a third of the field. That's what I'm going with. Now, is it going to... No, so this time it doesn't want to automatically start. Oh, there you go. If I didn't waste any... Oh my gosh, it is so fast, this spreader. It is hard to control. Oh dear, I'm all over the place. I must say though, it's done quite a bit and not actually used very much. So that's good, isn't it? That's promising. Imagine if I could get the entire first layer of fertiliser down. Then lime it in this episode. That would be amazing. That would just leave me one more layer of fertiliser to do in the next episode. Which of course will be easier to do because the ground will be white. So that works out quite well. Yeah. And then we're pretty good, really. And with that plough, the world is our oyster, really. Do I just maybe plough everything, every random area, like behind that barn over there? Do I just plough that and plant some grass? I don't know. I don't know. One thing I probably will need to do though is grab that mower at some point and just start to kind of go around all of the different areas, including where the sheep, oh my dear, including where the sheep actually are, because I can still mow that, I can still get some grass out of that. Again, it was mentioned in the comments, I think I might have said it in a video, maybe this video, but the grazing mods, they don't work because they are a PC scripted type mod, so we can't use them. Because again, if I activate stuff like that, those kind of cool mods, if I activate stuff like that, it will block Farm Sim Snowy from joining the dedicated server. And obviously that would kind of defeat the object of the entire series. So we don't want to be doing stuff like that. We don't want to be at all. Right, come on. This is not even worth time and editing involved with putting into a time lapse, is it? Although the good thing about when I put it into a time lapse is you don't see how many mistakes I make, like these little bits. There you go. Look, this is amazing, by the way. This is amazing. I thought we would get, what did I say, a third of the field done? We've nearly done the whole field. Yeah, actually, we've probably done over 50% of it now, I would have thought, because obviously the outer areas are much bigger than the inner section. This is amazing. Wow, it's hardly used anything at all. I might even be able to fertilise this whole field twice at this rate. Can you imagine that? That would be kind of perfect, because I think in the next episode I won't have enough money to buy even one small bag. Yeah. I can't wait to see how much money we're going to make from these though. I really can't. Nearly there. Nearly there. Typically difficult placed tree. For a minute I've left the trees in again. The cedar kind of went over the top of the stumps. The plow actually did an amazing job at going over those stumps. But it is still a bit of a pain, so I kind of figure leaving the tree there is almost easier than cutting them down. Yeah, we'll probably look to cut them down, get rid of them, ready for the kind of second batch of seeding once we've made some money out of this batch. But yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Done. Amazing. And there we go. Oh dear, I just realised. Oh, I've missed bits all over the place. Oh my gosh. Shocking. I'm trying to do it quickly because I know if you're not quick enough, it's just kind of wasting fertiliser. I've kind of figured if you actually fold the machine, it does seem to eventually stop the fertiliser coming out. So that must save a little bit. But yeah, I mean, what have we got there? 46 litres. It's not enough to do this field again. But I'm impressed by that. I'm really impressed by that. We've just fertilised this entire field and we've still got 45 litres left. Now, hopefully it will allow me to unload. Where do I want to unload it? Let's unload maybe here. I'll try and tuck it in a little bit. Hopefully it won't spawn that bag either the wrong side of the fence or in the middle of the track. Yeah, okay. Almost the middle of the track. Not quite there. Brilliant. Now, I didn't even think about it actually, but will this even feel from the trailer? Because that would be pretty bad if it wouldn't it? Maybe it won't feel from the trailer. I didn't even think about that. And I assume that the manure fork, yeah, the manure fork is not going to pick up lime, is it? I wouldn't have thought so. Oh dear. Okay, let's just try one more thing. If I connect to the trailer, will that load the spreader. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking out loud now. I think I mucked up, to be honest, doing it this way. Yeah, let me have a quick look, because I'm assuming the manure spreader, surely. Yeah, so it will just pick up the kind of the main stuff, really, the big stuff, the bulk product. So yeah, I mucked up then, didn't I? I made a bit of a mess. Universal bucket, we can't even afford that, but I'm pretty sure that's got some sort of weird attachment. Yeah. Okay, wow. We won't be liming in this episode. No, that's a shame, isn't it? I lied. I just lied to you. We will be liming in this episode. I just had a brainwave, and there it is. I can just shovel it out the trailer. Why didn't I even think of that? £24. Well spent for a shovel. Amazing. So yeah, the only downside is this long, slow drive again. This is like the third time I've had to do this in this episode. It's driving me mad. We need something faster. Something much, much faster. But anyway, yeah, I reckon I can either scoop it direct from the trailer, put it into the spreader, or we just empty the trailer onto the ground, tip all the lime out, somewhere kind of neater than right on the floor next to the field, and then just scoop it up off the ground. It's perfect. I don't know why I didn't think about it straight away, because I use this shovel in Keep It Real so often. And look at this. Look at this thing. 9 miles per hour because of the weight of the shovel on the back. Honestly, I just need something faster. I'm losing sanity every time I play an episode. Yeah, a little piece of me's going away. Here we are again. It's like deja vu, but the Nearly Home Chode should just about appear. It's normally appeared by now, but because we've dropped down to 4 miles per hour, yeah, this is a slow ride home. Come on. There it is. Boom. We would normally be nearly home. Might still be a while. Might still be just a little while. That little truck in the U-shop would be absolutely perfect, wouldn't it? It really would. If we could buy stuff and if I hadn't kind of spent all the money. Although I've spent all the money on pretty good investments, I reckon. Getting sheep was a series winner, to be honest, potentially. Not that I should speak too soon, of course, but getting sheep was definitely a game changer. Oh god, going too fast now. Can't even control it. Right, well, let's just kind of abandon this here. Turn that off because it's noisy. Right, try and pick up the shovel. Let's drop it to the ground. Try and get it at the right kind of angle. These things are always difficult to... Oh, there you go, that wasn't too bad. Can I scoop out the trailer? Probably not. No, I didn't think that would work. That's fine. It's all good. Disconnect this here. Yeah, I had a little bit of a fiddle with various different things off camera then, and it suddenly dawned on me, oh, I'm sure there's a shovel. But yeah, where am I going to tip this now? I don't know if I want to take up a shed space. But really, you shouldn't leave it outside, should you? Realistically. But then, am I playing realistically? No, I'm not. I'm playing to win, and Right, let's just dump it here. What's the button to dump it? That's the button to dump it. Good, good. Doesn't look like a lot of lime on the floor, does it? No, not really. Done? Right, cool. I quite like this little random triangular shaped wasteland that Snowy's made, and this one as well. I like that. I think that's going to stay. It's a bit of characteristic. I like it. Now, potentially as well, I have been thinking to myself, not whilst recording, but there are grain silos installed, and there's a really cool old-fashioned one. Might just be worth getting that, because we could potentially end up with a heck of a lot of soybean, and I don't want to be dumping that to the ground, because then you've got to manually pick it up, and that's just again, it's another one of those tedious jobs, isn't it? And no one wants to do that. But also, we don't have a bucket, so therefore it's more money to buy a bucket just to then sell it. Yeah, I don't know. I think soybeans, our only real income that potentially is going to be here at some point. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe, come on, is this going to work? Well, 810 litres on, on a shovel. That doesn't seem right. It is working though. It is working. I think that's going to overfill it, isn't it? What's the capacity of this thing? Oh my gosh, come on. Why is it going so slow? There we go. Wow. Look. A third of a shovel filled up the fertilizer spreader. That's very realistic. I'm sure the shovel that I use on Keep It Real only does like 200 at a time. I don't know. Maybe I installed a different version. Right, here we go. Oh, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. What am I doing? What am I talking about? I need to do it on here. Right. Let's try again. Like, third time lucky. Oh no, I've missed the chance, haven't I? Turn off, please. Right, I've missed my chance. Let's just double check. I'm sure that you've probably been shouting at me. Yeah. Okay. So, no good. Once it's germinated, it ain't no good. It's not going to work. So, that's fine. I mean, now, didn't start that way, but that's our smallest field. So, really, this is all of a sudden the priority. And again, oh my gosh, look at it. It's so fast. I'm going to miss bits all over the place here. It's going to be awful. It is going through lime a lot faster than fertilizer. It is still not that bad, actually. So give it its due. It ain't too bad. Yeah, that's okay. We probably did buy enough lime just in that one bag. Okay. Right. This will take a while. I will probably do a final time lapse before the episode finishes. I'll try and make sure this is a relatively quick one. This episode I feel is going to be less than an hour, which is a nice change. But we will, right at the end of it, skip forward the month. Because again, episode 5, I should be doing and recording this episode in September. But I didn't. I only didn't because I didn't want Snowy to kind of lose out on that whole entire month's worth of gameplay. So I've done it for the right reasons, but I will skip forward a month. Just so that we have... Oh, why has it stopped? There we go. Yeah, so we have a bit of balance. Anyway, right, I'll see you in a moment. Well, there we go. It looks like it's been snowing. Yeah, that shovel holds nearly 50% of a whole bag of lime on a shovel. Yeah, something not quite right about that. For definite. Anyway, right, we are pretty much done. So again, I hope this hasn't been quite as long as previous episodes. Although I don't, again, I've said it before, this kind of series being an hour long is not a bad thing. I feel, to be honest. The fences have decided to reappear again. all of a sudden as well. That's nice, isn't it? Now, look at that. Look at how big that field is compared to our initial one. And actually, probably didn't take us as long to do either, which is kind of strange, but there you go. Right, so we're going to skip through now. I'm kind of hoping Snowy has finished this episode. I mean, given that it was like, I don't know, maybe a whole entire game hour had gone by, which at 0.5 meant 2 hours. I'm certainly assuming Snowy has done at least one episode's worth. There we go, just like that. A new day. We're now in November. It's incredibly sunny for November, isn't it? It's almost like we've set the months to a set month or something. Anyway, how does it look from the chode point? Pretty good. Oh my. I literally nearly just fell off then. Let's go back a bit. That scared me. Pretty good. That is looking pretty good, isn't it? We'll just have a little sanity check. Lovely. Nice colour of blue. Not quite the colour we want, but still a nice colour of blue. Wonderful. Amazing. Wow. Good progression. Yes, we're only just skipping forward, but wow. What an episode it's been. So, things like checking on the sheep, seeing what wool they're producing, greenhouse, maybe that's on its way. Chickens, I doubt it, but hopefully they've sorted themselves out. But we'll do all of that in the next episode. Episode number 6. And then after the next episode, we again should be in a position where we can buy equipment. Amazing. Amazing. Please let me know, and I think Snowy is going to say the same thing in his episode. Let me know what you think about that 50 grand loan. I think that's not too much to ruin the series. And I think it would probably be just a little bit helpful to keep the series relevant, keep it progressive, with the fact that, I mean, what, FS25? 4.5 weeks, maybe? I can't actually wait. Do you know the bit I'm most looking forward to? The tyres having mud stuck to them. Oh man, I can't wait. Hashtag dirty tractor. Anyway, until the next episode, cheers and gone.